Hello, my name is Saturn Paden, and this is my Education 10 final project on the SQ3R reading strategy. So here is what I will go over today as per the outline provided in the assignment. I will go over the introduction, research, application, outcome, and revision. So SQ3R is a reading strategy that makes reading into an active process rather than a passive process. It is an acronym and it stands for Survey, Question, Read, Recite, and Review. So in the survey step, the first step, the student first skims over the reading very briefly, taking note of key details. So the title, subheadings, any summaries, pictures, charts, things like that. This should take no longer than 5 minutes. The next step is question. And in the question step, you then take all of the subheadings and turn them into questions that you will then answer in the next step. In the reading step, you take those questions that you just formed and as you read, attempt to answer them. So it's not passively reading where you just start at the beginning and power all the way through. You have a goal in mind. And then once you have answered that question, you can stop reading that section and move on to the next one. The next step is recite, where after reading a section and you've answered the question, you then say the answer out loud and then quickly write some notes about what you found. Finally, this last step is review, where sometime after you have done the recitation, you return to the notes and the questions that you formulated in order to reinforce what you have learned. So why does SQ3R work? According to Pilgard and Mayer 2016, it becomes difficult for students to retain focus when they are left to guide themselves through complex tasks. Without further instruction, without a sense of what they're supposed to be learning, students can sort of veer off topic by accident and not quite glean all of the information that they are meant to. So the study found that adding more structure to a complex assignment can help a student really figure out what they're supposed to be understanding, and that really does help them gain more understanding. And this idea really shines in SQ3R, especially with the steps question and recite, because both of those steps add so much structure to reading. Like you're not just reading from start to finish, sitting back and just powering through that reading. You have a goal in mind as you're reading, and it improves cognition and it adds so much active thought as you are reading. So I applied this strategy to my weekly history readings, sorry, and I just followed all of the steps as laid out in Van Blerkum chapter 7. And I will go over how that was very helpful to me, but I really just followed the steps as they were listed. So I really did find this method very helpful. I generally, when I tackle very difficult, dense readings like my history readings are, I struggle very much. And eventually, usually I just give up and skim through the rest of it. But using the SQ3R method made me feel like I really had a goal, a purpose, and it improved my endurance while reading, and it made it more enjoyable. So I am a math major, and I am almost done with all of my classes in the humanities, aside from the classes that I will be taking to further my education minor that I will be taking later. But in general, throughout most of the rest of my academic career, I will be parsing through difficult math textbooks. So this is how I would revise the method to better suit math rather than the humanities. So for the survey step, I would glance over definitions, theorems, and practice problems. For the question step, I would pinpoint moments in the practice problems where I get stuck. For the read step, I would then study the problem, read definitions and theorems. Recite, I would attempt the problem on my own. And review, I would then go back to the topic a few days later. Thank you so much.